because I have a very special guest. I was her special guest on her show, um, Joyce Pietras' show, Mystic Soul Insights. I was on there just about 4.5 hours ago, where she was doing my astrological chart. She's a gifted astrologer, tarot reading, and we're going to pick it up right now and resume. But I guess I better bring Joyce on first. Hi, Joyce.
Hi,
Long
Chuck.
time no see. I feel like we were just together.
It's good
I
to
had
see you.
time with you. Good to see you, my dear friend. Um, I had so much fun with you on your show. You know, I just wanted you to keep talking. We were past the 30-minute point. I knew we needed to wrap up, but I was like, no, keep talking, keep talking. And so, for my own selfish reasons, I'm excited to have you here right now. Hey, Pam. Pomona Remembers just joined us right now.
Oh, wonderful. Hi, Pam.
Francine, Debbie, thank you all for joining. Um, Surrounded by some beautiful people here, our friends.
Francine is here too. Hi,
Yeah.
Francine.
Well, Joyce, how do you want to resume this? Do you feel you need to recap anything for the viewers, or we should just launch into it and let people, if they want, watch your show, the recording of it? Whatever you think is best.
No, I think we should just pick up where we left off.
Well, then let's pick up where we
And
left off.
chart. I think Chuck has a chart.
Chuck has a chart. Say that 10 times. Chuck
Yeah,
has a chart.
Chuck has a chart on his side that he's going to share, and we can all look at
Can you
it.
show that right now, Joyce?
Yes,
Or-
please.
Okay, let me bring that up. My little button here. There it is. That's pretty. I almost want to frame that. You know what
Well,
I was thinking, Joyce?
I can't. I don't have a pointer, so I can't really point on it. But I
Okay.
thought what I would start with is that the last thing that we did is I went all around Chuck's chart, starting from the first house where his ascendant is, and going counterclockwise through the first, second, third, fourth. You can kind of see the little numbers up towards the middle circle.
Yeah.
The little middle circle, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th house. We went through all of those, and I went through the fact that Chuck's ascendant is in Taurus, which makes Venus the ruler of his chart. And so we went through that, and then we came back, and we had a lot of things to say about. It turned out that Mercury was pretty important a pretty important planet in his chart.
Yes.
And it looks down. If you look down at the bottom, there's glyphs, and he's got his sun in Cancer, his Venus in Cancer, and he's got his Mercury at 29 degrees of Cancer, and it's retrograde. So we have something in common, Chuck, because my Mercury is also at 29 degrees, and it's retrograde. Different signs.
Yeah.
Different signs, but it makes it a very critical degree for me.
Yeah, because you and I are so close, we get along so well. Do you think that could be one thing that bonds us, or is that something significant enough?
It could be that 29 degrees would put it at a pretty interesting angle.
Yeah.
Let me see. It would make it a trine. Our Mercuries would be exactly trine.
Interesting.
Almost to the minute. Yeah. Well, it's stranger things have happened. But anyway, looking at that, and that being a critical degree, it kind of led me on to some other things, because we hadn't discussed that the Mercury, not only was it very important, which makes it critical. That's kind of what a critical degree means. It means this is you're at the last of the degree, and this is your last chance. In other words, to make something of that Mercury, to use that Mercury. So I looked it up.
Yeah.
I looked up the esoteric meaning for that Mercury.
Okay.
And it would be, because it's 29, 24, you read the message for 30 degrees. So 30 degrees Leo. And this is what it says. Picture in your mind, Chuck, an unsealed letter. It's a letter, and it's unsealed.
Okay.
It hasn't been opened.
All right.
But along with that unsealed letter, it comes the realization that all thoughts and all messages are inevitably meant to be shared by all men. And if you think about this, Chuck, a lot of times in history, like someone on one continent, and this was before we had the internet and whatnot, someone over in Europe invents something, and somebody over here in the Americas invents the exact same thing.
I've heard of
At
that many
almost the same
times. Yeah.
time. They get the idea at the same time. So once that idea has been born,
I've had that happen to me with some of my own ideas.
it
Projects.
becomes
Someone else
it,
came up with the exact same idea.
it becomes the property of all men.
Uh-huh.
And so what any man thinks goes out into the stream of consciousness.
Yes.
And it can be picked up by somebody else that's receptive to that. So think what that means, not only in inventions and whatnot, but that's why when you have an unopened letter, you don't have to open it. The message is there. You get the idea of a way to find peace in the world, for example.
Yeah.
And if you started thinking about that and writing it down, and it went out there into the realm of thoughts, more people are going to get that same idea.
Mm-hmm.
So we can make it positive. We can make it positive by being positive ourselves, because nothing can really be hidden.
Yeah. Yeah, that's obvious.
So that's the meaning of that 29 degrees Leo.
Yeah. Now, how exactly does that pertain to me, please? I'm a little confused there.
That is the degree. That's the message for your Mercury in your chart, which when we looked at the Mercury was very important to you because you value ideas.
Yes, very much so.
You have Gemini is in your second house, and Mercury rules Gemini. And so your values have to do with that, have to do with ideas.
Yes.
And an idea is more valuable than money. And that your values have to do with thinking and the written word.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Okay, remember?
Yeah,
so when we go and we look at the ruler of your second house, it also has some important things that turns out it's in your fourth house.
Okay.
And it is conjunct your sun. It goes your sun in Cancer, your Venus in Cancer, and maybe it's. Well, let me look. I want to make sure I've got that right. Oh no.
What's
anyway, that was important. Yeah, it's 29 degrees of Cancer. So that would make it 30 degrees of Cancer. I like the 29 degrees myself because it really made me think. So maybe that was something I needed to find out today.
Maybe so.
Maybe so.
Well, I love this. It's mutually advantageous for both of us when we learn together.
Okay, well, it's still going to be a good one. 30 degrees of Cancer is a daughter of the American Revolution, the prestige and conservatism of a long-maintained heritage. And I know you talked to me about how much you liked history.
I love history. In fact, I'm passionate about it.
And here we have a symbol of the proud preservation of social, cultural values and a tradition. After several generations, the ancestor, who was perhaps a violent revolutionist or rabble-rouser, or even a fugitive from justice, acquires a halo of respectability. The tradition that was once born of a revolution now extols law and order, attempting to suppress any new forms of the same revolutionary spirit. So this is all about glorification of the past.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, what do? I was thinking about this. You always wanted history was your favorite subject.
I love
you
history.
Loved art, and you love art. And
yes.
Now what you're doing is you're still doing your art, but basically all this stuff that you do with the history of Hollywood and the actors, and all this, it's history.
It was a huge part of my channel, the main topic of my videos, my live stream, old Hollywood history. I love Lucy. Yes. These are all forms of history that I love. I
Well,
love
you'll have to forgive me for my first faux pas, but anyway, that is interesting. I like that much better for you. But on the other hand, I know that that's true, that people do have the same ideas at the same time, that once you have an idea, it's out there.
had that happen at least twice to me with
Mhm.
writing projects I wanted to do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So anyway, the other thing that you have, Chuck, is that you do have a yod. Now, this
Wow.
one, a yod is also called the finger of God. A finger of God. And so if
Yeah, I
you
like
look
the way that
at your
sounds.
chart, if you look up at, okay, look down at the bottom of the chart and
Okay.
you see there's sun and then the symbol for Venus. And then it says IC down there, and that's the bottom of your chart. Then it has
Yes.
29 Cancer, excuse me. Anyways, you look at all that, and you can see there's some green lines, and it's like an arrowhead.
Okay. Yes, I see that.
You see that? And they go, one of the green lines goes up to the glyph for Jupiter
Mhm.
on, and the other one goes all up to Chiron and Ceres. And those two planets, Chiron and Ceres and Jupiter, there's a blue line between them.
Okay.
And that blue line is a sextile. So that's what a yod is. It's two inconjuncts. Those green lines are inconjuncts
Yeah.
connected by a sextile. So it points down there at your Mercury. And this is why I kept thinking that Mercury is a very important planet for you.
Yes. You've been
A
saying that.
very important planet for you. And so it points there. So if nothing else, Chuck, um, all of this, it points you in that direction.
Okay.
It's a finger of God. It's pointing at you. It's pointing at your chart. It's pointing at your Mercury, which was,
Yeah.
about heritage.
I like the way it sounds. If you could explain it a little further when you say the finger
Well,
god.
sometimes you didn't major in history,
No,
and
no.
you weren't thinking about doing history. In fact, you did something that was completely different.
Completely different,
For
but
for a
I
long
can tell
time,
you.
you worked in the pharmacy,
Yeah. Well, I told
but
you, I one time when I was in high school, I toyed with the idea of being a history teacher. Just toyed
right.
with it briefly. If I had ever taught, that would have been my subject. But anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, 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 that's good. So what I'm saying is that you weren't on the path to be having a channel that was about Hollywood history and Hollywood personalities. But because of the unusual circumstances that just pointed you in that direction, and here you are.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
It's
In a
something that
way,
you had nothing to do with. It's just the energies weren't quite the same of what was happening, but you ended up
yeah.
doing this. You were
Because I
pointed
was
toward this.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, as far as the Hollywood history goes, I've had a love for that since I was, like, 12, 13 years old, when I would just read every book I could get my hands on, autobiographies, biographies, but I don't think I ever planned to, like, do anything career-wise with it or do anything
Right.
like I'm doing right now. Is So that's what you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so you've been pointed to this direction. I think you're living your yod. I think
Wow.
that's happening. Yeah, I think
This
that's what's happening right now.
I could say
Another
that
thing,
several of
go
us.
ahead.
I
Yeah.
could say that
Another thing
several
that
of
you
us.
have
Yeah.
is you have some kites. And I'm just going to go over briefly what a kite is. And
Okay.
I'm going to, do you see those blue lines that make the the triangles, the
I
three-sided
do.
triangles?
I do. And it
Yes.
almost literally looks like a kite shape.
And you can see that there's some shorter blue lines
Uh-huh.
that connect to each part. There's one on the bottom, kind of on the bottom from Mars
Yes.
to the sun
Uh-huh.
and to your north node, and then over towards um, Scorpio, towards the DC, where you see DC there. There's another one. There's another part of a kite. It goes from your moon to your moon to your
Uh-huh.
Neptune and down to your north node.
Okay.
So you have two kites in your chart. The thing about a kite, those big triangles, those big blue triangles, that's really easy energy. Those are called grand trines.
Grand trines.
And the energy just flows. It just flows. It's so easy, you don't even know what's happening. They go from the Mars to the moon to Pluto to it just kind of go around, and the energy can flee which way it wants to go. And you've got that on different areas. But to have a kite, you've got two sextiles. Sextiles are good. They're good, but they take some effort to get going. So you have to work at something to get those sextiles to kick in. And as soon as you do that, as soon as you get those sextiles, you do the work. Now you have a kite, and guess what you can do? You can
fly. Well, that sounds very good to me. Are kites something you commonly find in people's charts, or is this a unique thing?
It's I don't know. I don't have the statistics or anything, but I see it. I see it not all the time at all, but I do see it. It's because I hang around with people that are very talented. So I usually have people that are very talented choreographers or artists or teachers or something that a lot of those people have kites. They just fly. Once they put in some work, their kites, it just flies up there, and it's a great life.
I love this.
You have two different ways that it can go. One of them, that your tail is at the moon and Vesta, and the other one, the tail is at Mars, and Mars is that. I remember I told you about Mars. It's conjunct your ascendant, and that was the one that had the porter carrying heavy baggage.
Yes.
That was your message. Okay. Well, that's your tail, and so that's how the kite flies from there. Okay. All right. So you've got two of those, Chuck. So you've got the potential to be a star, to be up there, a high flying person.
I love this.
So this is part of your success reading, Chuck. You have it. It's very possible for you.
Well, tell me, what would your advice be to a person like me when you see this, as far as you say, doing the work to get the kites?
I was going to say, put in the work. It's not going to be all that hard. You have to put a little effort in. It's not like a square where you might have to work your whole life against something. It's not like you're going against some foe. It's just put in a little bit of work, have patience, and let it flow. And that's it.
That's exciting. That's so exciting. When you say star, do you have any more specifics about that?
Well, I'm just thinking about flying high out there.
Flying high. And basically whatever career endeavor I pursue, such as what I'm doing right now, that's what you say. I do the work.
Right.
Well, darn, that's great. That is really good news.
So have patience, Chuck. The work that you put in is well worth it.
Thank you.
And what are we all here for? We're all here for, that to reach the reason they say that you're here, and that's your North Node. And I think I might have already read on that, the 18.
I'm trying to remember on that. Maybe if you could just refresh my memory.
I'm looking at
watching now who may not have seen the first show.
Yeah, 18 Virgo. I'm just going to make sure I'm looking at the right chart now.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. Joyce, I bet you have some kites in your chart.
I
knew it.
I have a few fingers of God as well.
Ooh, that doesn't surprise me.
So you've got Virgo 18. Okay, the message for this is a Ouija board.
A Ouija board?
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, you mean like what I do, like with spirit channeling, that type of thing?
Yeah, that little board game that.
I know, but does it have to mean literally a Ouija board?
No, just picture in your mind a Ouija board.
Okay,
there you are. And the keynote says the ability to contact deeper recesses of the unconscious psyche and the sensitiveness to psychic and intimations and omens.
Yeah.
So you were here to connect with that other side.
Yes. Yes. I know that.
And it has a lot more to say, but basically it's all about inner guidance and trusting yourself.
Yeah.
So that's where see, there's a reason I had the similar things that were in a chart that I was just reading.
Yeah.
The Pomona's chart had something like that too.
Yeah. My cat
Trusting your inner
also
guidance. Oh, look who's here.
jumped up. She just wasn't. She's saying, "I want to be on television." Anyway,
And when you're trying to get her for when you want to
I
film
know I
her,
can
she's
never
hiding.
get her when I want her to come on camera. She just makes her own choices. As I said earlier, she's an Aries, a very definite Aries female.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Look at our comments. Pomona says, "That's exciting. Well,
Yeah.
wee."
Yeah. Oh,
And
and
peace will rule the planet and love will rule the stars. Yes, Debbie.
yeah. I tell you, folks, if anybody out there has questions, be sure to ask while we're doing this. I
Oh,
guess
yeah.
my own selfish reasons, I love having the privilege of you reading for me. I mean, to do your show earlier and then to continue it now, this has been a very happy day for me.
Well, does the audience have any questions about what we've been
Oh, yeah,
discussing here?
yeah, I just asked that myself. If anybody has questions, please chime in. But in the
Yeah, just
meantime,
put it in the
Joyce,
chat and we'll see it.
yeah, we'll see it. But in the meantime, Joyce, please keep telling me. It's
Keep
good news.
going, keep going. Okay, well, I wanted to make sure that I looked at that, and then I thought to myself, well, did I ever tell Chuck that not what his handle was? Remember, I said you had a bucket
You should do
chart.
a bucket
And,
chart.
and yes, and the handle is Mars.
The handle is Mars. Okay.
Hmm. And so you're going to have to put Mars is all about energy, about, it's male energy. It's a male planet, but on the other hand, it's about putting in time and effort,
Yeah,
energy.
more or less like,
And you do have a lot of energy. I know you do.
oh, yes. Yeah,
But
I do.
this
I
one
sense
is
it when I'm
going to
passionate
say
about something.
you're going to check in with Mars. Do I want to expend the energy to do that?
Okay. Now,
It
I'm
might
not
be
sure.
it.
You mean literally converse with Mars?
You probably do all the time. The planets do that for
Okay.
you as you're making decisions. It'll go up there and bounce it off of that. Well, do I have time for this? Do I have the energy to do this? Is this something I want to do?
Yeah.
Does this fit in with my persona, who I think I am, and what
Yeah.
I look like, and what I
Uh-huh.
talk like?
Okay.
And
Okay.
is this within my values? Because,
Yeah.
it is in Taurus. And Taurus's ruler is Venus, and
Yeah.
Venus is about your values, which is your second house.
Okay.
So it all goes around and around. If you kind of can get dizzy going from planet to planet to planet to planet to ruler and this and that. But it helps because you find out that everything is really connected.
Yes. Oh,
It's very
yes.
rare that you have a planet that doesn't mean anything.
It's
And
like
if you
there's this great love that just connects everything.
right.
Yeah.
And it gives us purpose here on Earth.
Yeah. No, it's interesting you say this because I always gravitate whenever those pictures of the surface of Mars come up, from the Voyager spacecrafts and all. I'm just always enthralled by that. And I remember the night my mother died back in
Mhm.
2003, and it was August 9th, 2003.
Mhm.
Mars was the closest it had been to Earth in like 80,000 years or something. And I
Right.
remember, after my mother died, I went outside and I looked up at the night sky and there was that big, big pink planet up there glowing. And there was just something comforting about it to me.
It's cool.
But I shouldn't interrupt you. I want you
No,
to talk.
no. I'm looking here at something that we couldn't get up. We couldn't get the picture up here today.
Okay.
But it's of your natal chart and of the planets that are traveling, the way the planets are right now today. Those are called transiting planets. So,
Okay.
like right now, the sun would be in Aquarius, which is at the top of your chart. Those wavy lines, that's
Yes.
Aquarius.
Yes.
And close to your midheaven, it's going to be Pluto and then Mercury. And so you see you've got planets that are going around, and sometimes they touch on your natal planets. And that's when you know that probably it's affecting you. They might not be conjunct. They might also be opposing your natal planets, and you'll feel it. Now, some of them only, like the moon's aspects, those kind of things just last for a short time because the moon is quick. It goes around fast.
Yeah.
And then Mercury is pretty fast. So those don't last too long either. And then the next one would be, I guess, I don't remember if it's Venus or Mars, but I think it's Venus. Yeah. And then Mars. But, the rotation around as they go out from the sun, it takes the planets longer and longer to go around the zodiac.
Yes.
Because they have a bigger circumference to go around.
Right. Much larger.
Okay. Yeah. So I was just looking at this to see if there was anything here. And the only thing I see right now is that you have Jupiter. Jupiter is in Taurus, and it's going to be on your ascendant. Right now, I think Jupiter is retrograde, or it was. Maybe it was retrograde. Yes, it's 7 Taurus, and it's going direct. So it's going to be chugging along, and pretty soon it's going to get over your ascendant at 11. So it won't be too long before Jupiter is on your ascendant, and Jupiter is the great beneficent.
Okay.
And that'll be great. You'll that'll help your personality bloom.
Wonderful.
Expand all of that for you.
Will this last for a very long time? Will it be permanent or just intermittent?
It'll be a good boost. It'll last for a while.
Okay. And when do you see this happening?
Well, I didn't have the chance to go. Does anybody know? Okay. I can find that out for you and let you know, Chuck, but I think it won't take that long. It'll be a few months. It'll be a few months before it gets, probably in the spring. I would say that it starts to go a little bit faster.
In the spring.
Because it takes Jupiter 12 years to go around the zodiac, right? 12 years. And so it takes, maybe it won't be there by probably as spring is sprung in March. And then it'll be going along and it's going to hit your Mars.
Yeah.
And right now you also have your Uranus transiting your first house. Okay. And so that's your genius.
My genius?
Yeah, your genius, your little genius there.
What is my genius?
I don't know, but right now Uranus is those quick, sudden things that happen.
Yes.
And that includes ideas.
Okay.
That includes, it also might mean that all of a sudden the computer is going to become really easy for you.
Debbie, our manager, will be very happy to hear that. She keeps telling me, Chuck, you need to learn your computer better.
Yeah.
No, this
Uranus has been in Taurus for quite a while.
This sounds, I can see where this is tying in with you're saying me putting in the work, getting my kites to fly, what's coming in. You're saying, I'm getting a big boost in my personality, right? Is that how you put it? Where maybe that is going to help me to, as you say, be more of a star? And I hope I'm phrasing that correctly.
What did you say, Chuck?
What did I just say? I can't remember what I said here. No, I was just saying it seems like the elements are coming together here.
Oh, yes.
But you said about putting in the work to get my kites to fly. To use your terminology so people don't think.
You got to run a little bit. You got to run a little bit to get that kite up in the air. You got to put a little energy in.
You used the word star. I'm going to say you said that, not me.
I sure did.
You're putting in the effort. And then you were saying I was going to get a boost from Jupiter around springtime or so. So I see where a lot of this is. Should I take the chart down now, Joyce, or do you want to?
Yeah, you can go ahead and take it down now.
Okay.
We're done for today. Yeah, we're done for today. I didn't see anything in any of your other transits that are going to be very worrisome. So that's good.
It sounds like I'm on course here. I'm on course. Though, just keep on putting in the hard work and let's let it come to fruition. You basically said that to me when you did a tarot reading for me also. I know. This is all coming in together. It's very encouraging, Joyce.
It is.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for having me on again, Chuck. I enjoyed going through the rest of your chart. I want you to know that I also do some other kinds of charts that might
tell us,
might
please.
find interesting. I'm not going to do them today for you, Chuck. I've drawn them up, but it'll take me a while to look them over and get things for you. But I did do your progress chart, where progressions are where you progress your chart for every year that you're alive. It's very good.
Oh, I want to hear more about
the other one is a solar return, and this solar return this one is for your birthday coming up.
Oh my.
So a solar return is where you drop a chart for the exact time that the sun returns to the degree when you were born, and that has to do with where you are right now, of course.
Right.
So we use that as your birthplace, even if it's not your birthplace. So yours would be,
thank you. Well, when you have these ready, let me know. Maybe we'll talk in private. Maybe you'll come back on the show again. But
in a while, yeah, that'd be good.
Joyce, while I have you here, is there anything you want to say about yourself, your channel, your work? Things you'd like to say to
people come and watch my channel? And I'm looking for people who would like a free natal chart reading. You can come on my show.
It's working, folks.
I'm hoping that pretty soon it becomes a contest and to see who gets chosen for the month or something.
Yeah,
and have one person, one of my fans, my subscribers. So I'm at Mystic Soul Insights. That's the name of my channel.
Insights, like and subscribe.
Mystic Soul Insights.
Yes, I love that. And of course, you emphasize that the reading you would do would be free in exchange for their appearing on your show.
Right.
Yeah.
And eventually, hopefully, that would be a contest to see who gets the free reading.
I think so.
Anyway, but I'm just in my infancy of my channel, and I really am enjoying it. So,
Joyce, I'm just so proud of you. We've known each other for a while now, but as we've been going through this together with our manager, Debbie, and I've just come to know you, love you. You've been so gracious and kind to me. And just please know how much it means to me. And I think you're a treasure. You're a gift for all the people out there. I just know you're going to be a star. I just know your kite is going to be flying high as people get to know who you are and what you do, and you get your word out to the world.
Right. And as soon as I feel more confident in live streaming and whatnot, I'll be moving on to some other things that I like to do too. I'll just add them on. I won't be moving on. I'll continue to do my Cosmic Conversations on Mondays. And that's 12 Pacific, 3 Eastern. And you'll start seeing some more things because I do numerology. I might do some tarot reading.
Yes. Well, I just want to experience all of this with you. I want to learn from you and grow and evolve with you. And
you're on my list.
And Pomona remembers our dear Pam. She just said, "Oh, thank you." She just called us both beautiful souls. Well, you're a beautiful soul too. She's another one in our family. You and I both love her too. And we've talked about how we're going to do each other's shows. And I jokingly said, well, we should do 3-ways. And me, I mean, the 3 of us together, because, we get along so well. And I think we could maybe have a topic, and the 3 of us, we could just have our 3 little windows and we could just have a great discussion.
It's an idea. The idea is out there, Chuck.
It sure is.
We got the idea out there. Okay.
Well,
thanks for having me on,
Joyce, thank you so much. I'm going to say goodbye to you for now. And just thank you for coming on. It's meant so much to me.
Anytime, Chuck.
Thank you, Joyce.